my lovelies. It is August. It is time for your energy report. We have a lot to talk about. So, for the past few months, I've really been talking about consistency, discipline, changing things, what no longer is working for you, working on your energy, making sure that your spiritual practice is strong, making sure that you move, you take your spiritual practice and you use it in everything you do, every part of your life. So it's an integration, if you will. So this is what we're going to talk about August, because August is going to be very strong energy. It is going to be very spicy, and let's get into it. So grab you a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. I am going to move through this pretty quickly so that I don't take too much of your time, but let's jump into it, okay? Let's do this. All right, so I'm not going to talk about all of the transits. I'm not going to talk about where every planet is. I'm just going to bring up 2 or 3 things because there is a lot of movement in August. So find your favorite astrologer. They will walk you through it all. I love Pam Gregory. I love Molly McCord. There's a bunch of other people too. Just find your person, and that way you get all of your astrological needs, okay? What I'm gonna start with is Uranus and Gemini because it's super big, right? So this is going to expose a lot. So you're going to be exposing the past, the ego, the mind, beliefs, old systems, old habits, patterns, fears, desires, emotions. If you have any lack or poverty, energy around your finances, if you are regressing back into something that you've done before instead of moving into something new, or maybe not moving into something new but expanding on what you're working on now, okay? So all of this is going to come up, and this is not just in your individual lives. You're going to see this on a world event media as well. So you've seen probably a lot in the news about different things. I would imagine things coming to light. We thought one thing, but it was actually this. So you're going to see a lot of things that were hidden. It's going to come to light. Most of us already saw it. Most of us were like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Most of us were like, you do you, but I'm not doing that. So if you're already in that camp, then whatever's coming to light, you're going to go, not surprised. Sad. Some of it's disgusting, but you're not surprised, right? Because you already kind of knew it was happening. You saw the writing on the wall. No, but most people didn't want to see what was right in front of them. Most people didn't want to connect the dots. So what you're seeing now is people kind of connecting the dots. Light being shined on things that were not strong, were not built on something strong. So that's where we're at, okay? So then we also have Pluto in Aquarius. So this is going to be your initiation. This is your awakening. And this is an awakening of consciousness as a whole. So this is consciousness of man, consciousness of the world. So that is going to really root out all that is holding you back, all that's holding the world back. So the question is, do you change and move to open the door and take off your shackles? Or do you fight? Do you resist? Do you stand still in fear? Because the only time that you truly fail is when you're not in movement, when you're not doing something. When you get messages from Spirit and they say, you gotta move, it's time, You can't keep doing this. And you continuously, oh, I don't trust that, or oh, no, I can't do that, or nope, it's not for me, or I really don't want to. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to change. I don't want to move. This is what I've been doing for this long. That is when Spirit's like, I'm going to move you regardless. But if you embrace it and you go, okay, I know this is what I have to do. I may not be able to see the whole vision. I may not be able to see everything. I may not even be able to see why. But I trust myself and I trust Spirit so much that I know that when I take that leap, that's when I get the next step. That's when I get the movement. That's when Spirit goes, now watch this. This is when Spirit is able to do what they need to do. Because Spirit's not going to tell you to move. Spirit's not going to tell you to do something if that's not what really is going to help your soul grow. Because that's why we're here. Our soul is here to grow. And if we are staying someplace that is keeping us small, keeping us stagnant, then our soul can't grow. We cannot come to our potential. And if we don't move, we are depriving other people of that opportunity. Because when you move, that allows someone else to move. That allows someone else to grow. And that allows you to bring in other people that have been waiting. You can help. So don't give that opportunity away. That is really what this energy is moving us into. So it's really time to let everything go. So stuff that, whatever's holding you back in a state of doubt, in a state of fear, complacency, and we really have to start moving out of this stagnant and even comfortable energy into changing, growing, moving, because Spirit really wants you to move into the best version of yourself. I don't see anything as competition. I see it as I have to move into a new frequency, a new energy, and the only way I can do that is moving how Spirit asked me to move, to change, to make that next leap. And when I make that leap, I know that's where my next step is coming. I know that even though I may feel like I'm not doing as much, that is that integration period. That is that embodiment of your frequency changing. And that is what creates excitement, movement, that elevates your consciousness. It helps you see more. It helps you to be more creative. And we have to have that freedom, because each soul has their own reason they came. They have their own lessons. They have their own things that they need to learn. And if you are constantly saying, no, I'm not changing because everybody likes it this way, everybody's comfortable this way, it's how I've been doing it, then you are really creating an energy of lack, of not wanting to move, of fear and doubt. And that not only causes resistance in your life, it's going to cause the people around you to resist as well. So just know that when you make that next step, not everybody's going to be happy. There are going to be some people that are upset, but you have to know that in your heart, that when Spirit asks you to move, it's for a reason. It's for something bigger than yourself. It's for something bigger than you could have imagined. And that is where anytime and every time you move and you take that leap of faith, that is how you start to really align with your true purpose. Okay? So, let's talk about eclipses for just a brief minute. There are 2 eclipses this month. So the first one I believe is in a new moon, and I think it's a total eclipse. I'm not going to go into all of that, but normally we use new moons for new beginnings, for starting new things, that sort of thing. But I'm actually, when I feel into that energy, I'm going to tell you to do the opposite. I am going to suggest that you use this for letting go, for removing anything that is not adding peace to your life. So removing obstacles, people, places, things, habits, addictions. And really start working consistently on what brings you peace and sustenance in your life. So if you are not feeling peace, if you are feeling stressed all the time, if you do not feel fulfilled, if you are not getting sustenance in your life, I need you to sit down, put your big girl panties on, and start removing everything that's causing it. Start removing everything that no longer works for you. Not for anyone else, for you. Start removing everything that causes your nervous system to not feel safe. If you are in an environment and you do not feel safe, you do not feel like you can truly be yourself, you do not feel like you are being loved, you are not being, if you don't feel like you are being in a room that truly is excited about what you have to say, if they're not excited about what you are doing, if they're not excited for you, if you go into a room and you come in excited and by the time you leave, you feel like you've done something wrong, or you feel like there's just silence, nobody's doing anything, nobody's movement, they're just looking at you, then honey, you're not in the right place. Doesn't mean they've done anything wrong necessarily, but you're not in the right place. You have to move, okay? So you're going to start seeing that from your friends and your family. You're going to see all of a sudden someone just say, you know what, I'm not working here anymore, I'm doing something else. Support them, because I guarantee you, they've already gone through all the cons. They've already gone through and talked to themselves a million times about what happens if this doesn't work. What happens if it does? Okay? You are going to see people that want to change and want to move, and you're going to see people resist. And you're going to see Spirit move them anyways. And it is going to be very difficult. They're going to be jarred. They're going to be shook because they had all of this time to move forward. They've had all the nudges. They've had all the opportunities dangled in front of them. They've had all this information given to them, and they haven't used it. So you're going to watch them struggle. Okay? That is where we're at. So I pulled a few cards. I only pulled 3 today. So the first one we have is Catalyst. And this, by the way, is the Oracle of the Universe from Stacey DeMarco. Fantastic deck. Fantastic deck. And I just realized it kind of matches my hair. Huh? Okay, so Catalyst. So here is what I'm going to say. Do not wait to deal with the situation. Do not wait. Deal with the situation now and use that situation as a catalyst for change. Okay? Second card, Sacrifice. You are going to have to sacrifice one way or another. You are either going to resist and sacrifice your peace, or you can take those small little steps forward, or maybe a big step, and you sacrifice someone else's vision of you, someone else's idea of how you should do it. You are going to sacrifice habits that you've done forever. You're going to have to really sacrifice and become consistent and disciplined to get to where you want to go. There's going to be sacrifice either way. So why not sacrifice the things that are holding you back so that you can become the best version of yourself, right? Our last card. So this is a big dynamic. This is a huge change. This is the falling eagle. So I'm going to say, like I just said, take big, effective action. Why play small? You've been thinking about it for 3 years, 2 years, 10 years. Why play small at this point? Take a big, effective action. Work on your health. Work on your vitality. And really get intense with your work ethic. Get intense with your consistency. Make a goal. Set goals and keep them. Because every time you set a goal, every time you say, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to run. Every time you say, I'm going to get up early and meditate. Every time you say you're going to do this and you don't do it, do you know what you do? You seed little pieces of doubt into your vibration. And you seed those little things of doubt all over your aura. Because you are doubting that you can do that. You're doubting that spirit's right. So when you don't keep promises to yourself, you are causing all of that energy to be pulled further towards you. All the energy you don't want. All of the people yelling, all the people calling you this, all the people not wanting you to succeed, all the people who doubt that you can do this, or all the people that think you're doing it the wrong way, or all the people who are just angry with themselves and they wouldn't do it, so they put that on you. Every time you do not keep a promise to yourself, all of that is pulled closer to you. So, if you do nothing else this month, I want you to make 5 promises to yourself and keep them. I don't care if it's to get up 5 minutes earlier every day. I don't care if it is to maybe only drink 1 cup of coffee and you put more water in your diet. I don't care what it is. I want you to come up with 5. And I want you to keep those promises to you and watch your life change. Watch those small little habits, those 5 promises that you decide to keep to yourself, no matter what. Watch your whole life change. Watch your energy change. Watch you have more confidence. Watch how you actually start to make decisions quicker. Watch how your body starts to react to things that you don't want, and you immediately feel it, and there's no question. You immediately say, no thank you, that's not for me. When you keep those promises to yourself, you show your body, your mind, your spirit, your nervous system that you trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, there's not anything that you cannot do. Nothing that you cannot do. So, August is a catalyst. August is Big Bang energy. August is shit or get off the pot. August is, okay, what are you going to do? Are we going to move, or are we going to stay comfortable? Are we going to do the same thing we've done every single day and complain that nothing's changing? Not wonder why, because you should know why, but complain. And while you're making those 5 promises to yourself, I want you to find 5 other things that are working right now in your life that you are grateful for. Because when you keep those 5 promises and you bring in those 5 acts of gratefulness that is already in your life that you're probably missing, you're probably not even paying attention to, when you merge those, by the end of this month, if you keep doing this for the entire month, watch your whole energy change. And then next month, do the same thing. Next month, do the same thing. Because by the end of the year, you could be someplace completely different. You could be a whole new person. You could have all new employees. You could have all new people around you. You could have people that are really rooting for you. Not competing, just rooting for your glow up. Not wondering why, or it shouldn't be this way, or this or that. If people are constantly questioning you, then you may not be in the right space. Okay? So allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone. Allow yourself to get those little butterflies in your stomach and know that you have to move. Know that it's the right move and go for it. Because once you take that big, effective action, once you decide to do something, the universe answers in abundance. It doesn't just sit there and wait. Once you make that action, once you go, nope, I have to do it, I'm doing it, this is what's going to happen. Whatever happens after is what it is. Spirit steps in. The universe goes, wait, she's ready. Let's send this person. Let's send this opportunity. Let's send her this. Let's give her that. That is when we move. That is where you have confidence because you have made those 5 promises to yourself. That is where those 5 acts of gratitude that's already happening in your life, you see them, you know them, they get bigger. And that is when the big bang comes. That is when all the sacrifice that you have made, that is why. That is the catalyst. That is what moves your world. Because although there are all these things happening outside of you, although there's things that need to be changed, and they will, when you move, when you change, and when you become the best version of you can become, that is when you get opportunities to serve. That is when you get opportunities to help others. That is when you get opportunities like making a video that may touch somebody, that may help them to have the courage to move forward. That is when you keep your promises to yourself and everything starts to change. And when you start changing you change someone else, that person changes it, and that's when we start to see it in the world. That is when we start to see big world movements. We start to see more of humanitarianism. We start to see helping neighbors. We start to see our food supply getting better. We start to see and to help local farmers because we're eating better. If we're eating better, then people are seeing our glow up and they're going, well, what have you done? And then you tell them, and that person tells them, and everybody in your area starts to grow. Everybody in your community starts to do different acts of service. They see somebody needs something and they just send it to them, or they see that they need help with something, or someone says something and you're able to provide that. That is when we start to see a world movement. But it starts here. It starts with you. And you cannot change anything if you are doing the same old habits, the same old addictions, the same old things that make you feel like crap. If you're not changing, how can the world change? Okay? All right. So I told you, big catalyst, big movement, big bang, lots of different things. I want you to be very mindful of the weather, where you are and where you're going. There will be more fires, there will be more earthquakes, there will be more flooding, there will be more storms, period. Because all of the things we're letting go of, so is the earth. So, make contingency plans. If you are going anywhere, let's just say United States wise, I see a lot of the West still having issues. I see Louisiana, North Carolina, parts of Tennessee, and most of the East Coast having issues, starting probably maybe end of August through September, October. And then there's going to be a little bit of a lull, and then there's going to be another big wave of like maybe winter stuff. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But the energy is right in those areas. So if you are traveling in any of these spots, be sure that you have a backup plan. Be sure that you have, if you're flying, you have a backup plan. And if you are in a area prone to fire, make sure you have an evacuation plan, flooding, and make sure you are also being careful with wildlife, okay? Because the wildlife is being disturbed in two ways. One, because of Earth's movement, they're moving. And two, because there is so much work being done on different parts of the area. So there are different things being built. There's a lot of things being cleared off for these things. These are causing animals to act in a different way. It's causing big animals, bobcats, wildcats, bears especially, to come closer to humans. And it's really causing issues in that area. So it could be very dangerous. So I'm going to give you that warning. I'm also going to give you another quick little be careful kind of thing. You obviously know that we have a lot of media, we have a lot of news, we have AI coming in. So I just want to warn you to be very careful. I want you to not let that become an addiction or a habit, and that you use it responsibly. There are programs out there that I have heard that you can speak to, and they give you information back. I want to advise you to be very careful with that. And I'm going to say something pretty bold here. These programs are computers. They cannot and will not be your spirit guides. They cannot and will not talk to your crossed over loved ones. They are not therapists. They cannot access the Akashic records. The only thing they can do is tell you what has been programmed into them. They are not sentient. They are not beings. They are not alive. It may feel like it. They may play on emotions. But that is not real. Do not get so addicted to these things that you talk to them like they are a real person, that you take all of their advice, and that you actually become or get into a delusional state. Please don't do that. It's not real. And this is going to be huge in the coming years. It's coming. We're going to use it. Use it to organize your spreadsheets. Use it to transcribe something. Use it to make your life easier so you can be more peaceful and you can have more time to be with your friends, your family, your spiritual practice. Yes, use it for that. But please, do not think that it is just going to talk to you and give you all kinds of spirit information. You must do that work. If you need help reaching your spirit guides, if you need me to help teach you how to do that, I would be more than happy to do that. Do not rely on a computer to give you that information. It's not possible, it's not happening, and it's not going to be accurate. Okay, I've said my piece. That's how I feel about it. And I think it plays into this energy that we're in, because we are in Aquarius. New technology, new changes, advancements, and that's good. All of that's good. But we need to make sure that we're using it responsibly, that it's not taking over our lives, it's not taking over our land. It is giving humanity an edge. It's giving humanity a place to heal and to help to make our lives better, not make it worse, not to cause addictions, not to harm Mother Nature, okay? That is where we're at. So we have to make sure that we're using these things responsibly. We're using them to help others, to get certain things to different people that couldn't have them before, that sort of thing. Let's use it with compassion. Let's use it for good, and let's build a world that we want to live in, that our grandchildren want to live in, that that we want to really love. And the only way to do that is to change the way we look at things, to change the way we do things, to change what we buy, how we buy it, right? So, like I said, this is big, intense, gigantic energy, and you can so use it to help you. You can use that momentum, you can use that big energy to change what's not working in your life, to finally get off the hamster wheel and do what feels good for you. No one can live your life. No one knows, no matter how well they know you, they don't know how and how much you've actually had to endure. They don't know that there are certain things that you have to do and have to endure because of your purpose here. So remember that. Have compassion for them, but make sure that whoever you're giving your time to, whoever you're giving access to, really will benefit from it and use it and root for you, not just take and not give anything back. Okay? So you really got to, being aware is not enough now. You can be aware of anything and everything that's happening. But if you're not willing to move and change it within your life, then what is awareness? What is it? Why even become aware if you're not going to change it, right? So this is the time for movement. This is the time for trusting yourself. This is the time to make those promises to yourself, and you make sure no matter what you keep those promises. If it's saying no to being able to go out of town, if it's no to someone who has been wanting you to do something forever, but you can't do it because you made that promise to yourself, you tell them no. No explanation, just I can't. Because you made that promise. And when you make those promises and you keep them to yourself, and you allow your nervous system to go, okay, I can do this. I've got this. That is when everything changes. Okay? All right, my lovelies. So that is my talk of the August. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on for the rest of the year. So I will continue to try to do these videos to make them informational, to really speak about the energy and really talk about personal growth, personal movement. I am here if you need me. Please contact me if you need anything. I am doing readings and certain things, but I'm doing it more on a one-on-one basis, or maybe one or two. So I have a lot going on, a lot that I'm rebuilding, and a lot that is, I have a lot of promises I'm keeping to myself. So I don't have as much time as I did before, but I will make time for you. So get on my schedule as quickly as possible so that I can get you on your way. I can help you with those 5 promises. I can encourage you. I can cheerlead you with those promises and give you the confidence to keep them, so that I can help you to move forward in what you really want. Yeah. So there we go. That's it for today. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful August. Enjoy your summer. Stay cool if you're in the South, because it is so hot. And I love you all. I love you. Mwah. Bye.